the first thing to do when you're embarking on your tonal drawing, so I've actually traced this using a little light box, and I've got a really good quality tonal version of the image that I'm trying to achieve. Because I've traced this, I'm already at the point where this is the same size as the markings that I've done there. That's really helpful, and it's really useful to have them side by side. I'm right-handed, so with my hand coming in at this side, I have my reference image on the left hand side, so that as I'm drawing I'm not covering it up. If I had it the other way around, then I'm putting my hand in the way of the image. So that's a really sensible way to start. And if we'll have a look at the tonal scale that we've done here, we're then going to compare to the image and think about, this is the darkest I can achieve with the pencil, so whereabouts on this image are those darkest areas, and that's what I would start filling in there. So I'm looking at this little section here, down here in the corner. It's lovely, sort of the way that the glass is described with these very strong lines is going to make this drawing look really good, I think. I don't think anywhere on the straw is as dark as some of those very darkest parts, and nowhere on the label is it as dark either. So it's the bits of the Coke itself inside the glass bottle where that really starts to happen. So those are the areas I would start with. For this drawing, at the scale that it is, and using HB pencil, I don't think there's any need to be using any sort of blending techniques I'm going to spend quite a decent amount of time on this one. I might change my mind as I go through, but at the moment I just think if you look at the tone that we've achieved here, then it's really smooth. It doesn't actually need to be blended with a tissue or any sort of blending tool. So aim to try with this one just to build up your pencil and blend it with the strokes that you do, changing the direction of the strokes. So thinking about the tonal scale, we've got the white as the lightest, is the white of the paper, and the darkest tone we can achieve with the pencil. I start putting the dark bits in, and then we've got a really good idea of the drawing as a whole, and then we'll start thinking about those lighter areas in between. It's the easiest bit to start off with, and it makes the image look like it makes more sense from all the sort of tracing markings that you've got there. So I can do this bit fairly quickly. I'm obviously controlling the shapes. I've got my little drawing table that I've set up here on a bit of a slant, which makes it quite nice and comfortable to draw. When you're working at this sort of size, it's not that necessary, and I would sometimes be sort of leaning right over the drawing, but for the purposes of videoing this for you seeing it, then I've got my board angled there, which makes it a nice comfortable space to draw with. You might see me dipping in from time to time. I'm going to speed up the video, just start this bit off normally, but then you'll see me sort of flying through the drawing, and I'll speed up the video a little bit, and you might see my head dip in and out as I'm trying to work out all these little details of lines. We're just starting off with those darkest parts, and this is probably the fastest that I would go with my drawing. I'm moving the pencil in different directions as I build up the tone, and again watch out for that as you see the video speeding up a little bit later. Where I know it goes a little bit lighter, I'm just going to fill that in but not go as heavy, and come back to that, smarten it up after.